This is Marsh and Milton, and this is Take Two. Let's dig into it. How many do we have time for today first, Louis? I'd like to get clearance from you first.
We have time for three.
Three? That's perfect.
Start right now.
All right. Little did he know, I only have 3 prepped. Yes.
Isn't it funny how it works that way?
Oh, yes. Always is. All right. First Take Two of the day with the hirings of Doug Peterson in Philadelphia, Chip Kelly to the 49ers, Adam Gase to Miami, Ben McAdoo to the Giants, and many more. 1 year after 6 of 7 head coaching jobs were filled by coaches and defensive backgrounds. 6 for 6 this year with offensive background coaches taking head coach positions. If you were starting a team today, Louis B., would you prefer to have a coach with knowledge in defense or offense? Because it has changed year to year in the NFL.
Ooh, tough question. Can I just add a...
you want a special teams guy to be your head coach?
Yeah, no. I'm just... is it wrong of me to be so happy that Doug Marrone still doesn't have a head coaching job?
No, that's mutual respect for that.
I am so excited Doug Marrone does that. Speaking of Jim Schwartz, apparently looked at he's in a couple of places for DC jobs.
That makes sense.
We'll watch that. I think you want a defensive guy because a lot of offenses, I think you can kind of put together. Look at the Bills. An okay offense, but just a terrible defense that just killed their year. I think, and I'm saying that Rex Ryan is a defensive guy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe I want a smarter defensive guy than Rex Ryan, but I don't know. I think defense is key in this league because, let's be honest, on any given day, you're either with an elite you either have an elite quarterback or you have a quarterback who's
To me, in this situation, I want a defensive coach as well, but I will kind of add a 1B here to this. I want a defensive-minded head coach. I want an absolute stud as an offensive coordinator. That's where you find the balance in the roster. Again, taking the Patriots type model, Belichick began as a linebackers coach. You get McDaniels in there. You get guys like Bill O'Brien, who's had a lot of success. But then you start to think about guys who have been offensive-minded head coaches in the National Football League. Who's had a ton of success? Andy Reid's been around for a long time. Has he had a ton of success? Chip Kelly had 1 year of success before the playoffs. Right? Think about guys like that are in the league. Marvin Lewis, Bill Belichick, those are the guys that have continuity and that stay long-term.
I'm just so happy Doug Marrone is not a coach.
I'll mention as well, Kimberly Jones of ESPN had a tweet this week which read, I asked John Mara if he cares that the New York Giants players seem happy with Ben McAdoo hired. He said, not really. Their job is to make me happy. Which is kind of true if you're the owner. Last week, the crying Knicks fan from the NBA draft finally met his new favorite player, Kristaps Porzingis, who, by the way, had a bit of a knee tweak today in the Martin Luther King Day game. On draft day, this kid basically heard the announcement of Kristaps Porzingis being drafted by the Knicks, decided to cry as if he had just seen his dog run into traffic in slow motion several times over, and then had a dream where he remembered his dog running into traffic several times over. He was bawling about as hard as he could. The question is, Louis, when was the last time a sports event caused tears to come out of your face?
Oh, I don't think I've ever cried over. I think
everyone's cried over sports, whether you played in it or whether you watched it.
It must have been like a grade 12 like basketball game. Like we lost like this,
grade 12.
Yeah, we lost like the Saucer finals or something like that, and it was my last game, and I knew I was gonna play basketball like past high school, and it was just kind of like,
you knew that was your last athletic moment.
I'm just getting really dusty thinking about it. Well, like actually like competitive athletic moment, because like I wasn't gonna do. Nobody does. Like 1% of people do things after high school. You're lucky enough to be one of the few. But I remember just being in the locker room and just being like, I'm not taking off my shoes, boys.
Oh, I know.
I'm not taking. It's getting dusty in here. But I was just like, it was so hard. I thought your question is who should have been crying.
No,
I think it's Mitch Kubiak at LA being like, I got this guy. I could have this guy.
My most recent was the Vanier. I'm not ashamed to say that. I was incredibly tight with the guys that I played with at McMaster. No,
okay.
That UBC goes through. I'm just like, I love Michael O'Connor. Love you, UBC. But the one that always gets me, and one of my favorite stories is, I'm a 7-year-old kid. When the Music City Miracle happened, I'm a huge Doug Flutie fan. I'm wearing my Steve Tasker jersey, which, hey, Hamilton shout out with Luke Tasker. Wearing a Steve Tasker jersey, things happen. I go sprinting to my room bawling, and I'll never forget my sister just walking in going, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you crying?" I'm like, that was their last chance. That was the Bills' last chance to make the Super Bowl.
Apparently it was.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
All right, we got time for one more.
All right, last one here. Over the last, that's the wrong one. I found a story on The Comeback, which is a new social media kind of comedy crossover with entertainment news and sports, of a dad banning his son from Xbox after his son racked up $7,600 in credit card debt playing FIFA. Now, those of you who aren't addicted to video games, you don't understand FIFA is a major addiction for a lot of people. It's like World of Warcraft for sports nerds out there.
Video games are the worst now because you have to buy things.
Yeah, that was never, when we were kids, there was no money involved.
You want a better career, like in your franchise mode, you got to buy coins. But the coins are fake money, but you got to use real money to buy them.
Where do I find these coins?
Video games are broken.
Yeah.
I just want to play, and that's why I just play head to head. The only reason I have a PlayStation 4 is so when friends come over, we have something to do other than
hang out and party.
No, it's just any argument can be determined. Quick game of chow. Quick game of chow.
Right.
Should we play a quick game of chow?
See, it's an addiction for people, and you're right, it's broken. It would be a hell of a Deadspin article if they could post something that was like, video games are broken. They're now bankrupting children. But the question here is, what is the worst sports-related purchase you have ever made?
Ooh.
The one you regret the most. Could be a jersey, could be a ticket to a game that you didn't like. Let us know out there as well at TSN1150 on Twitter. What's the worst sports-related purchase?
I almost bought tickets to go see the Leafs last week, so that might have been.
That would have been bad.
I almost bought tickets. Luckily, one of my friends talked me out of it real quick. But you know what? I've never really regretted a sports purchase.
No?
Whether it's a jersey.
Mine was one day back when I was working very hard, I'll mention, and it was in the middle of the summer.
Impulse buy.
I saved up a bunch of money because I was working my backside off. The morning, I went around. This is when I had to bike around because it was early in high school. I biked to Best Buy. I found NCAA and NFL. I bought Madden and NCAA in the same day. Then I went down to a pro shop called Mr. Lids and decided to spend $250 on Patriots gear.
20 seconds. You get the big finish?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is quitting time.
What I learned today, Lynx Magazine reporting that Greg Norman is out at Fox Golf. What you missed, Toronto FC acquires goaltender Clint Irwin from the Colorado Rapids. What you need to know, the Spurs have 11 wins by at least 25 points this season. What to watch tonight, Syracuse Orange and the Duke Blue Devils get underway in 3 minutes on TSN2. Thanks to our guests, McMaster's, Glenn Grunwald, Hamilton Bulldogs, Jack Heedy, and CIS CEO. Okay, don't have it in front of me. Twitter and Facebook at Martian Milton. I'm at TSN_Marsh. We drop the puck on Tuesdays, Martian Milton, in 21 hours between now and then. Don't forget to have some fun. Cheers, Hamilton.
That's how it's done, Andy Reid.